Good day, Matlang people and future LPTs. As you prepare for the upcoming licensure examination for teacher or LET, may this video helps you on how to solve math problems included in general education efficiently. Of course, this video includes detailed solutions with explanations. Make sure to finish watching this video so that you will not miss the possible item that might be included in the upcoming licensure examination. Let's get started. In an English test, 8 students obtained the following scores: 10, 15, 12, 18, 16, 24, 12, and 14. What is the median score? A. 14, B. 14.5, C. 15.5, and D. 15. First, we need to know what median means. Median is simply the middle score, a number or data na makikita sa pinakagitna. But first, you need to arrange the data from least to greatest. So, we will arrange the given numbers in this manner. Next is identify the middle score. Since we found that there are 2 data that occupy the middle score, but we need only one number or data that will represent the median score, then all we have to do is get the average of the 2 numbers, or simply add the 2 numbers and divide it by 2. So the average of 14 and 15 is 14.5, which also means that 14.5 is the median score. But if you will encounter a set of data and you identified only one middle score, then no need to get the average because that will already represents your median score. Okay? Find the least common multiple or the LCM of 5, 2, and 7. A. 35, B. 140, C. 15, or D. 70. There are different ways to identify the LCM of the given set of numbers. One of the ways is listing the multiples of each number. So, we will list the multiples of 5, the multiples of 2, and the multiples of 7. Next is identify the smallest number that is common to 5, 2, and 7. So we have 70 as the least common multiple of 5, 2, and 7. But this way is time consuming, isn't it? It will consume more time in listing the multiples of each number. But the good news is there is another way to identify the LCM efficiently when you are taking an exam. Listen, all you have to do is identify only the least number among the choices. Again, among the choices. Make sure that number is divisible by all the numbers given in the problem. In this case, we have 15 in letter C to be the least number among the choices. Next is determine if 15 is divisible by 5, 2, and 7. 15 can be divided by 5, but it is not divisible by 2 and 7. So, we will eliminate 15 from the choices. Next is 35. It is divisible by 5 and 7, but not divisible by 2. We will also eliminate 35 from the choices. Next is 70. 70 can be divided by 5. It can also be divided by 2, and of course, can be divided by 7. Since 70 is less than 140, so we can conclude that 70 is the least common multiple of 5, 2, and 7. Again, using your calculator, you can identify faster the LCM of the given problem if you can encounter the same problem as this. All you have to do is identify the smallest number among the choices. Then, determine if it is divisible by all the given numbers in the problem. Okay? If the average or arithmetic mean of x and negative 5 is 10, then what must be the value of x? A. 15, B. 25, C. 30, and D. 20. In item number 1, we mentioned on how to get the average of a set of numbers. But how to get the average of the set of numbers? First, only add all the numbers being included in the set. Second, divide it by the number of data in the set or on how many data are there. This time, we will add x and negative 5. Then, we will divide it by 2 since there are only 2 data that are given, which is x and negative 5. But the question is, what is the value of x when the average is equal to 10? So, we will solve for the value of x. But how? We will rewrite the equation wherein only x will be left alone in the other side of the equation. Now, our task is to move all the terms to the other side of the equation. Doing algebraically, we will multiply 2 and 10. The new equation will become x plus negative 5 equals 20. Our next goal is to move negative 5 to the other side of the equation so that only the variable x will be left alone. Moving the term from the other side of the equation will change the sign from positive to negative or negative to positive. Now, we will move negative 5. The equation will become x is equal to 20 plus 5. This time, it is clearer. Only x is left at the other side of the equation. So, let's solve this time for the value of x, which is equal to 25. Therefore, the average of x and negative 5 is 10 when x is equal to 25.
Very good.
You can have the other way to solve this problem knowing that the time is not on your side when taking the exam. The other way to solve this problem is to substitute the choices to the equation to make it true. You can substitute 15 to x, then solve if it is equal to 10. Likewise, 25, 30, and 20. Since we already know that the value of x is 25, we will consider letter B to substitute to the equation. 25 plus negative 5 divided by 2 could be equal to 10. 25 plus 5 is equal to 20. Divided by 2 is equal to 10. Meaning, the value of x is 25 since 25 will make the equation true. You can substitute the other choices but 25 will make the equation correct. For me, sometimes looking to the choices first and doing substitution will give the fastest way to solve the item. Which of the following gives the numerical value of the population? A. Range. B. Statistic. C. Parameter. Or D. Variable. Let us define each of the following from the choices. Range is the difference of the highest value and the lowest value. While statistic without S, statistic It is a numerical characteristic calculated from the sample. It is calculated from the sample. While a numerical characteristic calculated from the population is called parameter. Parameter is calculated from the population. And variable, it is a characteristic of interest that can take on different possible outcomes or values for every element in the data set. Therefore, the correct answer is letter C, parameter. It gives the numerical value of the population. Which among the measures of central tendency is not influenced by outliers? A. Mode. B. Mean. C. Weighted mean. Or D. Median. Among the choices, A, B, and D belong to the measures of central tendency. But only mode cannot be influenced by the outliners. So the answer is letter A, which is mode. If a die rolled, what is the probability of getting a number described by 2? A. 1/2. B. 1/3. C. 1/4. Or D. 1/6. To get the probability of an event, you need to determine the number of ways the event can happen and the total number of outcomes. So we can write this in fraction form, which is equal to number of ways it can happen over the number of total outcomes. To make it clearer, we'll have a die as an example. A die has 6 faces. So the total number of outcomes is 6 since a die has 6 faces. If we talk about a coin, the total number of outcomes is 2 since a coin has 2 faces, the head and the tail. While if we talk about a standard deck of cards, the total number of outcomes is 52. Since there are 52 cards belong to a standard deck. But the question is, what is the probability of getting a number described by 2 when you roll a die? Again, a die has 6 faces, which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dots respectively. Meanwhile, the number of ways it can happen to get the number 2 is 1, since there is only one face that has 2 dots. Therefore, the probability of getting a number described by 2 is equal to 1/6. We can have this additional example. If you are tasked to get the probability of a card that is a queen in a standard deck of cards, you will have 4/52 because there are 4 cards that have a face of queen. And the total number of cards in a standard deck is 52. So it is equal to 4/52. But we can simplify it as 1/13. Thus, the probability of getting a card that has a face of queen when you are asked to pick it from the standard deck of cards is 4/52 or 1/13. If a student has an average of 76% on his first 2 tests and has an average of 85% on the next 4 tests, what is the final average of the 6th test? A. 82%. B. 82.5%. C. 80.5%. Or D. 81.3%. To get the average of the given set of numbers, we only need to add all the numbers being included and divide it by how many are there in the set. So we can have the first equation as quiz 1 plus quiz 2 all over 2. We will add the first two quizzes and divide it by 2, and it is equal to 76%. While the student has an average of 85% in the next 4 quizzes. This can be modeled as quiz 3 plus quiz 4 plus quiz 5 plus quiz 6 all over 4, because we are dealing with the 4 quizzes. But the question is, what is the final average of all 6 tests? This equation can be modeled as quiz 1 plus quiz 2 plus quiz 3 plus quiz 4 plus quiz 5 and plus quiz 6 all over 6, since we are now dealing with all 6 quizzes. But the question is, how? We only need to know the total score of the first 2 quizzes. We will only multiply the denominator, which is equal to 2, to 76. So 2 times 76 is equal to 152. Therefore, the total score of the students in his first 2 quizzes is 152 points. Next is, we will get the total scores of the students in his next 4 tests. The same as what we did in the first equation, we will also multiply 4 to 85. So 4 times 85 is equal to 340, which only means that the total score of the students in his next 4 quizzes is 340 points. Now, we already know the total points of the first 2 quizzes and his next 4 quizzes. We will add them so that we can determine the total scores for the 6th test. 152 points plus 340 points is equal to 492 points. To get the final average, we will divide it by 6, which is equal to 82%. Therefore, we can conclude that the final average of the students in his 6 quizzes is 82%, which is in letter A. In the example of 10 to the 5th power plus 6x, the exponent is A, y, b, 5, c, 6, or d, 10. This statement can be modeled in this expression. So 5 represents the exponent, while 10 represents as base of the exponent. So the correct answer is letter B. Simplify this expression. 6 minus the quantity 3 minus negative 4 plus 11 plus 8. A, negative 26. B, 20. C, 26. Or D, negative 20. This expression can be simplified using PEMDAS. There is a link below in the description box and in the comment section below about simplifying expression using PEMDAS. I encourage you to watch the video so that you can master how to simplify mathematical expressions like in this item. Meanwhile, let us simplify this expression. Using PEMDAS, we will simplify first the expression inside the grouping symbol or inside the brackets. Now, there are 2 operations involved: subtraction and addition. We will do first the subtraction before the addition, since we do first the operation from left to right. So 3 minus negative 4 can be written as 3 plus 4. Now, the new equation is 6 minus the quantity 3 plus 4 plus 11 plus 8. If we simplify this, it will become 6 minus 26. Now, it is simpler, is equal to negative 20. So the correct answer is letter D.
Very good.
Simplify the quantity 3x minus 12 all over 3x divided by x minus 4. A. 3x. B. X minus 4. C. X. Or D. 1 over x. As you observe, x minus 4 has no denominator. Unlike 3x minus 12, it has a denominator of 3x. We can rewrite this expression in this manner. If a mathematical expression has no denominator, it is understood that its denominator is 1. So, we can write this expression as 3x minus 12 all over 3x divided by x minus 4 over 1. Dividing rational expressions is also the same as dividing fractions. When we divide fractions, we simply get the reciprocal of the divisor or the second fraction, then we proceed to multiplication. In this case, the reciprocal of the divisor or x minus 4 over 1 is 1 over x minus 4. As you observed, when getting the reciprocal of a given fraction, you will simply interchange the denominator and the numerator. After getting the reciprocal of the divisor, we can now proceed to multiplication. We will now multiply 3x minus 12 over 3x by 1 over x minus 4. But we can factor first the expression if possible. In this case, we can factor 3x minus 12. The common factor of 3x and 12 is 3. This equation will become 3 times the quantity x minus 4 times 1 all over 3x times the quantity x minus 4. We can simplify or we can cancel out x minus 4. We can have the new expression as 3 times 1 all over 3x. Do you think we can still simplify this expression? Yes, we can cancel out 3. Therefore, the simplified expression is 1 over x, which is letter D.